A few years ago, I had very little control over my mindset. I would get caught up in my thoughts and my emotions, allowing them to hinder me from my clearest perspective and highest mindset. But then I learned how to develop a neutral perspective. And it changed the game for me completely. Literally nothing has been the same since. I've learned through a lot of trial, a lot of resistance, and a lot of pain that holding a neutral perspective will save your sense of self, your peace, and your growth. So today I'm going to show you how you can do this for yourself so that we can walk this path of growth together and you can elevate into your higher self. I see neutrality as the quiet art of not attaching a label, a meaning, or a judgment to what is happening around you, and instead allowing things to be just as they are. If you can allow this, then you can see things for what they really are. See them clearly without the distortions of your perception. I've come to realize that so much of our pain, our reactivity, our confusion comes from our need to label things as good or bad, right or wrong, success or failure. And whilst that might feel helpful in the moment, like you're trying to regain a sense of control of the narrative, all that it does is lock you into this narrow perspective of something that should be much more expansive and nuanced. Neutrality allows you to have an active relationship with the present moment. It's a willingness to witness all of the aspects of what you're experiencing without collapsing into it or assigning it an identity that you then absorb and carry with you. It's the practice of replacing the response, "this is bad," or "this is good," with "this is happening, and I am here with this in this moment, and I get to decide what this means to me, if it means anything." There is so much power in being able to sit in the seat of the observer. Not in a dissociated way, but in a conscious way. A way where you understand that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are not your experiences, and you are not the events of the past. You are the one witnessing it, the one asking the questions, the one who chooses what story gets told next. So when you stop reacting from inside the narrative and start reflecting from outside of it, that's when everything gets clearer. Everything. Your entire inner world gets clearer. And when your inner world gets clearer, your outer world reflects that. You stop getting pulled into spirals. You stop over-identifying with passing discomforts. And most importantly, you start to realize just how much of your reactions were based on assumptions that were never yours to begin with. One of the things that neutrality taught me is that life is not here to satisfy your idea of what you think it should be. It's here to reveal yourself to yourself. It's here to reveal yourself to yourself. And sometimes that means letting things unfold in a way that feels really uncomfortable, sometimes maybe even unfair. But when you can pause, step back, zoom out, and look at things from the perspective of neutrality, one where you're not immediately categorizing everything internally and externally, you create space for real growth. You might just start to notice that the thing that ruined your day was actually protecting your path. That missing the train, or losing the job, or being ghosted, or sleeping in, or being late, all of which I have experienced before and have brought me suffering. All those moments that felt like problems when they occurred actually held some invisible grace that you couldn't see in the moment. And even if there isn't a silver lining that you can point to, you still have the power to respond from a place of neutrality instead of reactivity. And that is powerful. Because when you approach life neutrally, every experience is just data. Every experience becomes a doorway to reflection. And within each reflection holds so much wisdom. So much wisdom. You would be so shocked how much wisdom you can extract from a 3-minute interaction. All that you have to do is step beyond your mind and see everything for what it really is. It just is, really. You stop saying, "This is who I am because this is what happened," and you start saying, "This is what happened and this is what I choose to do with it. Here's what I'm choosing now." Holding a neutral perspective allows you to honor your pain without turning it into your name. I'm sure we all know somebody who went through something and they made that their entire identity. When you can step outside of the labeling, you free yourself from that potential. It's this kind of detachment that gives you possibility. You are no longer confined to the emotional charge of one event. You can clearly see what's happening, what you might learn from it, what your next steps can be. And the more that you sit in this energy, the more and more you realize that a lot of what we call truth is really just perspective. We are all just interpreting our life through our own individual, unique lenses that are shaped by our experiences. But you, right now, you have the opportunity to soften that lens, to practice neutrality as a way of liberating yourself from all the things that are keeping you stuck. To say, I see what's here, I feel what's here, and I'm not choosing to judge it. I'm choosing to learn from it. Oh my gosh, that actually made crazy difference. I didn't even realize how dark it was getting. So let's talk about how you can actually develop a neutral mindset, because this isn't just a mindset shift, like a one-time thing, it's a practice. Just like all mindset work is, but trust me, you got this. And I'm right here to walk you through the steps, as always. Keep in mind, you are learning how to relate to your experiences in a completely new way. So be patient with yourself. The first step is to create the pause. In order to become neutral, you have to interrupt the automatic meaning-making machine that is your mind. Every time something happens, your brain instantly tries to sort it. This is good, this is bad, I like this, I don't like this, I should be happy, I should be upset. You know how it goes. Most of this happens so fast you don't even notice it. But it shapes your mood, your choices, your energy, before you've even had a chance to breathe. So the first real skill is to pause. And it sounds so simple, but do you know how much better off we would be as a society if everybody did this? That's it, just pause and notice what happens. And then notice what you're telling yourself about what just happened. For example, you wake up late. That's the event. The story that you assign in your mind is, I'm disorganized, I failed, I'm ruining my life. See, in this case, you're not upset because you woke up late. You're upset because of the meaning you assign to it. Neutrality begins by separating the event from the story, and that requires a pause. The next step is to observe without attachment. Once you've paused, you step into the role of the observer. This is when you say, okay, that just happened. What is true about it without the story? And then you notice. You don't judge, you don't dramatize, you don't analyze, you just notice. Just observe it. Think of it like watching clouds passing by in the sky. You're not trying to change them, you're just watching the weather move through. That emotional distance is what allows your insight to come through. The third step is to zoom out in the lens. Neutrality becomes deeper when you start looking at the moment in context. Most people live zoomed all the way in on one moment. This is bad, I feel like shit, this shouldn't have happened, oh my god. That's what a lot of people's internal dialogue sounds like. But when you step into a mindset of neutrality, it invites you to zoom out. What's the bigger picture? Where might this be directing me? What patterns am I seeing here? These are the type of questions that neutrality allows you to begin asking yourself. When you zoom out, even just slightly, you begin to realize that most things you may have previously perceived to be punishments or mistakes are really just pivots. You missed the bus, for example. Maybe that delay was saving you from an accident. You got ghosted. Maybe that silence was protecting your nervous system. You failed a launch. But maybe it revealed the exact misalignment that you needed to fix before you scale. See, none of these things are inherently good or bad. They just are. It's you who decides the meaning that you give to them. And the more that you can zoom out, the more accurately you can choose. The next step is to ask more empowering questions. Neutrality isn't about becoming passive, it's about becoming selective with your energy. Like I said before, when you drop into a neutral mindset, you begin to ask yourself the questions. What's the lesson here? What is this situation trying to show me? What can I learn here about myself? What's the next aligned action that I can take? You start moving from reaction to response. And that is the moment that you become emotionally self-led, not hijacked. Because when you're letting your emotions cloud your judgment, you can't see clearly, you don't have space to ask yourself these questions. You're just experiencing life, collecting these events, meanings, and experiences, allowing them to change the way that you see yourself, to change the way that you see the world, without a clear judgment of why this is occurring and what you can do with it, how you can use this to elevate you. And if there's one thing that I have learned, it is so important to be in control of your emotions. You don't want to let them dictate your actions. That is how you get yourself into some sticky situations, moving in ways that don't benefit you, entertaining things that do not serve you, and I'm sure neither of us want that. The last step is to practice it in real time. This isn't something that lives in your journal. This practice lives in your everyday choices. When someone cancels on you, when something takes way longer than planned, when your day feels way off, Neutrality is practiced in all these little moments, not the big breakthroughs or breakdowns. It's this internal, subtle shift, one that moves you from, oh my goodness, this ruined my day, to this happened, what can I do with this, what can I learn from it? And the beautiful, beautiful thing is, the more that you practice, the faster that inner shift happens. Until eventually, neutrality becomes your baseline, not your emergency backup. When you sit in neutrality, you can select the perspective that is most helpful to you. The one that allows you to grow instead of just running with the one that you automatically assigned when it happened. I mean, without deeper reflection or emotional space, there is no room for growth and expansion. You will be repeating the same reactions, the same responses as a habitual fulfillment of your identity. And that doesn't always serve our highest good, because our minds are designed to keep us comfortable, keep us safe, keep us stuck in what is familiar, keep us rooted into our sense of self. This is at the core of how I teach personal transformation, not by forcing your mind to stay positive, but by giving you the tools and the knowledge to keep you clear on your emotions, clear on your patterns, clear on your power. So if you want to practice self-reflection and learn how to really extract the lessons from your life so you can begin developing a neutral, grounded perspective, I've created an entire world of digital journals on my website. Each one is designed to guide a specific area of your personal growth, whether it's shadow work, inner child healing, self-talk, building a positive mindset, because your mindset really is the foundation of your life. It is everything, and every single moment that you spend tending to it is a moment spent in devotion to your future self. And if you're ready to go really deep, like really, really deep, and rewire your mindset from the roots, then I encourage you to join my 25-day Best Self Blueprint. There I walk you through 4 modules that show you the power of your mind and how you can rewire it to support yourself into becoming the best version of you in just 25 days. It's about 30 minutes of your time each day, a $4 a day investment to become the best version of yourself. You'll explore the beliefs holding you back, learn to rebuild your entire mental framework, and anchor yourself into a new internal reality, one that actually matches who you're becoming. With all of that being said, thank you so much for sitting with me today. Thank you for opening your mind. Thank you for showing up for yourself in so many different ways. I'm sending you so much love as you continue to learn to see the world and yourself with so much clarity, compassion, and choice. You can find more of me on Instagram and TikTok at Love From Tay. And if you're serious about your personal growth, then I will see you inside the Self-Work Studio or the Best Self Blueprint. Mwah! 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 I love you, I love you, I love you.